Babylon and to bring you good news. So we're going to be in 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. So we're in 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. But we want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahshua, Bashim, HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace, blessing, mercy, and salutation to all the brotherhood out there teaching the truth and sincerity. So today we're going to talk about the woman. In 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter. So what do you know about the woman, son? About any woman? Are you supposed to listen to a woman? No, right? So, but we're in a place where we're in captivity and they put women over us. So it's kind of confusing. You know, we're at work and we're not supposed to be around women because women get on their period and, you know, they're nasty. What we are supposed to do is be good slaves. Not just, because we are in captivity, but we're supposed to be slaves under Yahushua HaMashiach. So I'm going to get into this lesson. 1 Corinthians 11 and 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of HaMashiach. Now, in the Spanish Bible that I just read, it said imitators. Imitator is more than a follower. When you're playing your guitar, you're trying to imitate that song, right? The same way. And you're pretty good at it. So when we're alive every day, like right now, we're breathing and living, and we should be like Yahweh Shai. So we need to take an approach of being smart, but you know, still understand that where we're at is a dangerous place. Verse 2, now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I deliver them to you. So these are extra set of rules. These are extra set of rules. Actually, they're all the same. They're all based on the Ten Commandments, but some of them are, you know, more in detail, and they are more than just, you know, commandments. They're regulations and rules, because this government bases itself, it says it's based on Bible. So the Constitution is based on the Bible. But we don't live by the Constitution. We live by something called the UCC. And that's a different thing. But we Hebrew Israelites, we live by the Bible. So the ordinance I'm trying to deliver to you is, you know, don't let the women tell you what to do, especially if you have a girlfriend or a wife. Like here's the deal. Like you see all these women passing around. Now there's a lot of women driving around. But here's the thing. These women will get you in trouble. All they have to do is raise their voice and yell, and simps will be running to their defense. And I gotta tell you, I don't have enough strength. I don't have enough martial arts skill to fucking fight 10 or 15 guys that don't know their fucking place. So you gotta be careful with the women. You know, women are fucking retarded. Especially women in America. So, I mean, if you want to get a wife, I suggest you look for a Filipino wife. Because they're good, they're already raised to be good, and you're not going to get one around here. I'll send you to the Philippines. I'll go with you and we'll go look for one. But she's gonna be a good person. You know, she's not gonna cheat on you. She's not gonna do things that I wouldn't like to see my son go through. Right? Because but you have to do your part. As a man, your part is to provide substance. You got to get her food, you got to get her water, you got to get her clothes, you got to take care of your kids, your children, my grandchildren. You got to be a strong man. You got to defend them, you got to protect them, because I protected you. And you have to be patient. That's a hard job to be a man. Women nowadays, they don't understand how hard it is to be a man. They'll say some stupid ass shit. They'll wear a shirt that goes down to their fucking chest, showing off all their boobies except their nipples, and then they'll say, respect me. How the fuck are you supposed to respect a hooker? You know, you can't. So, 1 Corinthians 11:3, this is where the things get normal. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is God. You know, there's an order to that. And the order is out of order now. This is Genesis 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So that means we got a whole lot of authority. But the American women would take that authority from you. Man, there's fucking disgusting, ugly ass bitches out there with a soul full of shit. Let me give you an example. So we're working, and my buddy at work, he gets a call. It's his wife, and she's talking shit to this man, telling him, what the fuck are you doing? Why the fuck aren't you here? Why blah 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 blah. And I get upset, and I tell him, look, just hang up on her. And then he does. But sometimes he stays on that phone, and he talks to her, and they're arguing. I wouldn't want to argue with no woman. So now we're going to go to Genesis 5:1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai created man, in the likeness of God made he him. So now we got to talk about that word God. That word God is Elohim. The word God in the Bible is Elohim, which means judges or angels. Not just one God. See, you Christians don't understand it's God thing. Why? Why do I say that? Because it's fucking true. I bet you, and this is a blasphemy, this is a sin for you, that there's gay pastors out there, and them and the gay pastor and his husband or partner have a church, and they're both preaching at church. Even that's as low down as you can get. That's an abomination. Also, what is an abomination is lady pastors. Well, what the fuck do you got to, what do you got to preach about? No, I don't want to talk to you. No, I don't want to have no conversation with you. This is how it is with me. If I'm sitting there talking to a woman, she better have a fucking check for me. When I'm sitting there talking to my boss, she's a woman, it's hard to pay attention to her because I see struggling with what she's saying, trying to understand what she's saying to me. Let me give you an example. There's a field where I work, right? And there's a so-called sump. A sump is when it rains and all that excess water goes into that hole and drains out to wherever it's supposed to drain. But this lady had, well, first of all, the guys told us to go use a shovel, and then the lady came, the boss said, why don't you go get a skid? A skid is a little tractor that has tracks on it so it doesn't get stuck, and it has 2 handlebars so you can steer it, drive it forward, back, and it's, you know, pretty awesome thing. It's a little cool toy. It's not a toy, it's a machine. It's a tool. Well, we were all using it. We were all having turns on it. We did what we thought was good because the water went away. And then this fucking dude said, what are you guys doing? You guys didn't do anything. So, naturally, I tell everybody to shut the fuck up. Right? She's not my boss. And I told him, look, motherfucker, we did the best that we could with the time that we had. And then this same fucking dickhead calls contractor, and that motherfucker left a fucking big mess. So then they had to call another contractor out and do the thing that I said needed to be done. Cover that fucking hole, dig some trenches out, and that's what they end up doing. But guess what? Nobody likes to give me props. And I really don't give a fuck. But that just goes to show you how stupid people are. Stupid as fuck. And just because I don't have an engineering degree or nothing like that, that's what he said to me. He said, you're not an engineer. But that's the same thing that they fucking did. This is what I suggested. I guess I am an engineer. You just don't want to give me the props. So that guy is like a woman. You know, he tried to be sneaky and talk to the trainees like he's their fucking boss. And I went to go confront him. I said, look, these guys ain't your fucking employees. They're with me. So whatever you got to say to them, you say to me. To tell you the truth, I like to fight. I like to fight. And I've been working out for like almost 4 months straight. And I feel like I can back it up. I don't care how big you are. I got some PSIs behind me. You know, I always say this, but I was a mixed martial artist before I came to jiu-jitsu. I was fighting big guys. I was fighting state champ wrestlers. I was fighting other black belts. You don't know how fucking fun that is to me. So when something like that happens, yeah, I have to calm myself down because I know I'm right. But now I'm at the point where I don't give a shit anymore, and I ain't gonna say nothing about it. So now we're gonna go back to the lesson. And well, let me go back over here. Genesis 1:26, and this is partly why. Because I got the authority, but these motherfuckers are taking that authority from me. Genesis 1:26. And Elohim said, let us, see how I told you that the word God means judges or more than one angels? This is them talking. Let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So that's called power, right? Authority. Authority to say what's going to happen. So now we're back in 1 Corinthians 11, and I'll read 3 again. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is a man. And the head of Hamashiach is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered dishonoreth his head. So that's only for a man to do. I know you women think you're prophets, but at the most you're witches. If you think that you're a woman and you think you can come out here and preach and prophesy, no, you can't. Women can't do hard things. Women cannot do hard things. I do this in Spanish and in English. That's hard. That's hard because I don't have to translate. I know how to read both languages. So that tells you that I'm doing double the work. It only gets easy. Well, I don't want to say it's easy, but I enjoy it. And then I reward myself. Like, I know we're not supposed to eat them, but after this, we're gonna go get Whoppers. Man, I fucking love Whoppers. This is a Whopper right here. You gotta eat this Whopper because this Whopper will fill you up. Alright, so now I've read to you. So, what's the head of Hamashiach? Huh?
God. Said God.
What?
It says God right there.
It says God, right? So I told you what God means. What does a God mean?
Elohim.
Elohim, right? But in this case, in the New Testament, they're talking about the Heavenly Father. So you have to know everything. So now let me ask you a question. You find a girlfriend, a nice girl, she's cool, whatever. You bring her around, with the whole family likes her. Who's in charge of that relationship? Good. Now what if she says something like, you know, I want to be with you, but I also want to see other guys. What happens then? You tell her, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Good. Glad you understand. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. So there's our authority. There's our authority. See, so a man shouldn't be sleeping during the day. No man should be sleeping during the day. Every man should be sleeping at night, waking up in the morning, get their ass to work, make that fucking dough, make that money, feed yourself, exercise, pray, read the Bible, read whatever books. I've been reading this book called the UCC Connection, How to Free Yourself from Legal Tyranny. There's so many definitions in there. Whew. But I understand it. Because Yahweh Shai gave me authority to understand. I want you to think about this. So it says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of HaMashiach is God. So, let me give you a scenario. So you're somewhere, and you hear a woman telling the man what to do. Oh, you better go do this, and you better go do that. And the man does it. Do you have respect for that man? No. Can't. Something inside you tells you, that's a little bitch. And if you see it continue more, the animal inside you will wake up and be like, yo man, that motherfucker needs to be cursed. I meant to say, drop dead, but so with the whole problem with society is you betas. You fucking motherfuckers, man. You simps. Making it harder for men like me. And simps come in all shapes and sizes. Simps are big too. There's all kinds of simps at work. I'd say, for the exception of me and this other guy named Chris P, everybody there at the work site is fucking simp. Like, yeah, you're supposed to take care of your wife, but god damn, you're at fucking work. At least try to pretend you're a man. See, sometimes it's a good idea for the woman to get a job, because they'll drive you crazy. Sometimes it's not. First Corinthians 11:4. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered dishonoreth his head. So don't cover your head anymore. You know, if you're preaching and prophesying, a headband's okay, but beanie, and I have a beanie that has a hole right here for the pineal gland, but that's only for freaking cold ass days. Now it's getting nice and warm. I think it's time for the, we're in the new month. So we're gonna be doing the Passover pretty soon, in about 14 days. You know, we gotta go get some lamb. We already got the wine. We gotta get some horseradish. I usually like to read Exodus or watch the movie Gods and Kings or Exodus. The last few times we practiced Passover, it's just been me and my two sons. And I give my wife some wine and my daughter some wine. But we eat the lamb, we drink the wine, we drink the herbs. Eat the herbs. And that's coming up. See, so another thing would be the calendar. If our Lord gave us authority, then we have to have and show it. I'm about 5'9", 170. I think I can bench press 170. And I can do pull-ups. You know, I made my chest a little bigger. My arms gotten a little bigger. My back's getting wider. My shoulders are getting pumped up. My legs are getting pumped up. But that's because I keep working out. Reading the Bible. Let's say we're in 1 Corinthians now. In a couple of months, we're going to be in the same chapter in the same book again. And this lesson is just to tell you the place of the woman. Okay? But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head. For that is even all of one as if she were shaven or ashamed. And I don't know what scenario a woman could prophesy. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, but the woman is the glory of man. So when the angels were making us, they were like, man, this guy's gonna be tight. You know. Matter of fact, I'm gonna explain it like this. When I first seen you, when I first held you, I was like, God damn, this little nigga's gonna be strong. He's gonna be just like me. Blah 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 blah. I was happy. I was happy to see my daughter too. But when I seen you, I was like, fuck yeah, it's my first son. And then when I seen Gabriel, I was like, I'm the motherfucking man. I'm the fucking big G. To see a little creation that you created, but you know that you'll see when you have your first son. But when I first held you, I was like, man, this guy's gonna be strong. He's gonna be big. He's gonna be this. He's gonna be that. And it was true. And the same was true about Kabar, your brother Kabar. So when the angels see us out here preaching and prophesying, they're like doing the fist pump. Because that's what they want for us. That's what they want for us. How do you think they feel when they see a man getting yelled at by a woman in public? He's getting hit with the chancla. That makes me mad. I'm like, man, that man has no respect and no self-value. And 1 Corinthians verse 8, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. And it doesn't have a precept in here, but I know where it's at. So this is Genesis 1 and 27. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushai created man in his own image. In the image of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai created he him. Male and female created he them. So first was a male, then was a female. So there's a story I'm looking for. Or maybe it's screenplay. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the living thing that moveth upon the earth. So that's pretty intense. I was looking for something that I can't find it. Alright, there it is. Genesis 2, we'll start at 18 and go to 23. Genesis 2 and 18. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him and help meet for him. So he made women to help us, not to hurt us. You motherfucking bitches are out here hurting us. What do you got to say about that? Oh, you ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? You're the one that's not shit. You're the one that's not shit. Especially the fucking black woman. And the Hispanic woman, garbage. Fucking duty. Because you're supposed to be right here. Right here. Under this arm, covering yourself with my blanket, not asking me to get you one, but using mine. You understand? And the blanket isn't this. The blanket is the protection I give you. All right. 1 Corinthians 11 and 8 and 9. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Going back to Genesis 2 and 18. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him and help meet for him. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called them, every living creature that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an help meet for him. Verse 21. And Yahweh Shem Yahushai caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahweh Shem Yahushai had taken from the man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. So they're actually our help. Women are supposed to help us. You know? And that's, you know, not too much help. You know, not like build a house or fucking change the oil. Some women can do that. That's pretty good. But the kind of help we would need is, man, I'm fucking starving. Blah, blah. Cool. Go make some tortillas, go make some beans, blah, 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 go cook it up. Do you know it's not hard to keep a man satisfied? Looky, you know, the Lord could be like, you know what, Kawak? Uh-oh, that's a dove. The Lord could be like, look, Kawak, here's this beautiful girl. She's about 6 feet tall, redhead, and she's very nice. You'll be surprised at her. And I'll be like, all right. And all she has to do to make me happy is make me beans and not cheat on me. Just make me beans. She can make beans out of the pot. She can make refried beans. She can make sopes with beans. Blah, blah, blah. Beans. Just make beans. Now, I can't eat beans every day. But actually, I can. But what I'm trying to say is all you would have to do is make me some fucking beans. If you don't know how to make me happy, make me some fucking beans. Right? So, you gotta make sure that when you pick a woman, the first thing you do is interrogate her. What would be some of the questions that I would ask? Well, same question. What would you ask? Let's say you're talking to a girl. What would you ask? Now, you gotta be direct. Because if you don't tell her what you want, she's gonna assume that you want what she's giving you. So let me show you an example. When I first met your mom, I asked her if she can cook, and she said yeah. That was important for me. I asked her if she could cook for me, and she said yeah. And I don't remember much, but you know, that's all I needed to hear. And then I asked her if she wanted to have kids. She said no, but then she still had kids. And then we got married. So it's like a job interview. You gotta tell the job, look, this is what I want from you. This is what I expect from you. Let's say, now this is where it gets interesting. Let's say I'm at work and my boss asks me to take on the responsibility of the lead. I'll say, if I take the responsibility of the lead, will I also get the pay of the lead? And he says no. What do you think I'm gonna say? You can kiss my motherfucking ass. I ain't doing shit unless I get paid. And that's okay. That's okay, because they're adding extra responsibility to you, but not giving you the pay. Now let's say it's a woman. What do you require? Look. Let's say this woman has a ton of friends, a bunch of guy friends, and you don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like my women's having man friends. So I'd say, look, what's up with all these man friends? And then I'll tell her, look, I don't like you hanging around with them. I don't like you talking to them. I don't like you doing none of this. And you're supposed to be helping me, and you're supposed to cook for me, clean for me, blah, blah, blah. What do you think a woman would say? She'd be like, oh man, that's pretty tough. Or I don't know, she'd probably say, fuck no. Some women would. But the point of the matter is, that these women are not how they were before. Women were created to help, but most of them don't. You know, it's a shame. All I ever hear from women is, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Never do they say, can I do this for you? What can I do for you? It's always like that, so beware of the woman. And if you ever get into a relationship, make sure you tell her what you expect from her. So, you know, with that, we're going to end it. And hope it was edifying. So we're going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders. Peace, blessing, mercy, and salutation to all the brotherhood out there teaching the truth and sincerity. In the name of Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai. Shalom.